Hello again. I hope that my dear students are well and safe at home. In this video, we will continue our lesson, The Wrath of Nature, from the theme Natural Disasters. We will answer referential questions preparing for expository essay writing. Our first question was, identify the figure of speech in the above title and explain it. The Wrath of Nature. Now, we all know that nature cannot feel wrath. It cannot feel at all. Human beings are the ones who can feel. Here the writer is comparing nature to a human being in order to show how destructive and injuring it can be when it is angry. Our second question, how is the question in paragraph 1 eye-catching? How did it grab your attention? How does it make you interested to read more? Explain. Do you know that natural disasters kill more people than wars do? This is the question stated in the first paragraph. Now, how could natural disasters that take less time than wars do kill so many people or kill more people than wars do? So this is a question that arouses our interest. It is a very serious issue. The question raises a very serious issue where natural disasters kill more people than wars do. Such an issue arouses the reader's interest. So the writer wanted to grab our attention through this question. Third question, I asked you to figure out meanings of some words through context clues. When you want to know the meaning of a word, you have to read the sentence where it is found. Here we're going to start with the word phenomena. In fact, the wrath of nature is manifested in the following phenomena. We know from our previous video that wrath means anger. So, how does the wrath of nature show? How is it revealed? In a certain phenomena. So, it can be in a certain natural disaster. So here phenomena means a situation that happens or occurs. This is a noun. Let's move on to the second word, which is horrible. First, the horrible hurricanes, which may move at incredible speed, as Hurricane Andrew that hit Florida in the US 3 years ago. Horrible is used to describe a hurricane. Of course, it has a negative connotation since hurricane is a natural disaster, so horrible means terrible. Which may move at incredible speed. Could it be that this hurricane moves at a low speed? Of course not. Since it causes such a great disaster, it is truly moving at a very unbelievable or extraordinary speed. So this is an adjective and incredible is an adjective. Let's move on to the word devastated. Statistical records indicated that it devastated thousands of dwellings. Dwellings are where places that people live, are places where people live. Devastated means, of course, what would a hurricane do to the dwellings, to the houses? Of course, it will destroy them. This is a verb. Uprooted an innumerable number of trees. What would it do with trees? From the word root, it certainly pulls them from their roots. And displaced the inhabitants of coastal areas. Inhabitants are the people who live on coastal areas. So, if a hurricane displaces these people of coastal areas, it should make them move from their original place on the coast. So this is a verb. So let's see the words. Then the meanings of the words would be wrath, it's a noun that means anger. Phenomena is also a noun that means a situation that might occur or happen. Horrible, it's an adjective which means terrible. Incredible is also an adjective which means unbelievable or extraordinary. Devastated is a verb which means destroyed. Uprooted is also a verb which means pulled by the roots. Displaced is also a verb which means caused to move from original place. Now you have to study these words in order to write an expository essay about natural disasters to make the reader realize how dangerous natural disasters could be. You're also asked to skim paragraphs 2, 3, 4, and 5 and then fill the chart below with information. You had to name a phenomena, in which country it happened, and what were its effects on that country. We read about a hurricane which was called Andrew that hit Florida. So, what were its effects on that country? It devastated thousands of dwellings, which means destroyed thousands of houses. It uprooted trees and displaced inhabitants, which means it caused lots of people to move from their country or place where they lived. The second phenomena we read about were earthquakes, which happened in Colombia in Latin America. What did it do? It destroyed buildings and killed 700 people. And then we have fires that happened in Indonesia. It caused burning of whole forests, burning of houses, victimizing animals, means it killed many animals, and resulting in economic disaster. The last phenomena we read about was a flood, one that happened in Brazil and another one that happened in Bangladesh. What were their effects? Breaking into and destroying cottages, which are small houses, causing depopulation, which means killing a lot of people. Of course, people in the affected areas should be offered help. So you were asked to list two types of help usually offered in the disasters areas. So what could we give them? Maybe food, money, medicine. Here you could answer financial, hard cash, and material help, or you can specify them like food, medicine, mobile homes, and so on. Recall the real enemies of mankind as seen by the writer of the above text. This question is taken from the text. You are asked about what the writer thinks. He thinks our real enemies are poverty, having lack of money and food, diseases, and the wrath of nature, which are natural disasters. Finally, to gather all the information from our previous video and the selection that we have read, we have to arrange the causes and effects of natural disasters and then write two precautions. I have summarized all the information in a chart for you. Natural disasters, their causes and effects. Please pause the video to read them carefully. Last, we're going to talk about the precautions that could be taken in case of a natural disaster. Everyone has his own role. First, people should take precautions for their own safety. They should stay in safe area, learn how to leave their place of residence where they live, store important documents like passports or maybe their identity cards, etc. in a waterproof container, assemble an emergency kit where they put a flashlight, water, maybe food supply for 3 days, and keep your gas tank filled, but do not drive until the danger has passed. The government has also precautions that it should take. First of all, mitigation, minimizing the effects of disaster in case they know that the disaster is coming, and their preparedness, planning how to respond. Of course, these two are if the government knows that they are going to face a natural disaster. Response, efforts to minimize the hazards created by the disaster, and recovery after it's all finished, returning the community to normal. Of course, media also has its role. It should educate the public about disasters, warn of hazards, and gather and transmitting information about the affected areas, what they need, maybe how many people died, what happened to them, and so on. Our objective of this video was preparing for expository essay. Now that we have gathered vocabulary words and we have gathered information about natural disasters, their causes, their effects, and some precautions, we can read the following prompt and prepare an outline for our writing. Natural hazards caused by hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, etc. can be disastrous because they lead to losses in life and property. People must be made aware of procedures, of the ways they should follow before, during, and after a natural disaster emergency. Now, what I want to ask of you is to provide an outline, only an outline, for an essay in which you are going to explain the above statement, referring to how different parties, people, government, schools, or media can spread awareness about the procedure that should be taken to protect people in case of a natural disaster.